Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another edition of the YouTube channel Too Many Plugins in Delta X-Ray. I'm your host Alex. We're gonna play a little bit more Battlefield 4. Talk about some stuff happening in the gaming world. Word around the campfire is that many Call of Duty players are really tired of the stupid cartoon skins that are in the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So bad that on the Call of Duty forums they did some how do you call that? Basically ask people their opinion about how interested they were in Battlefield 6, and apparently they were really interested in Battlefield 6. Was almost 86% of them was really interested, and so by the way, we're 16, 16, 15, 16, 31 players. So apparently Call of Duty, what they have done with those Beavis and Butthead skins is not really working out with all those cartoon skins. So the Call of Duty community is really tired of Call of Duty and their stupid cartoon skins, and most of those Call of Duty players are now actually really interested in Battlefield 6, basically. Still got him. So that's quite interesting. Man, I saw the images of that. I was not believing, man, that they turned it completely into a cartoonish, stupid mess, man. Really stupid. I couldn't even believe it. First I saw that, I thought, man, this is a theme or something, a meme there, just joking around, you know. This cannot be true, you know. But no, man, it's for real. Those Call of Duty skins with Beavis and Butthead and a bunch of other cartoonish figures in there. Really crazy. Who shot me now? From where? I was from there, okay. So yeah. So that Battlefield 6 is gonna make 100 million players. Let's not call sales, units sold, but players maybe not that much, but maybe they can come quite close to it if the whole Call of Duty community is really tired of what Call of Duty is doing, you know. Then they could come quite close to that, you know. I think that the EA have done some really good marketing research, you know, and apparently. So apparently they a little bit know what they are doing, you know. Got him. So yeah, that's really nuts.
There's your med kit. Go get it. Here's your med.
Come on, dude. Let's go.
Pick it up.
So yeah, maybe they even can literally even take over the Call of Duty market. They were being so bad, man. They were doing so bad. Okay, I don't have any more. Well, that's interesting then.
Go get it. Here's your med kit.
Man, that thing of the Beavis and Butthead and all the cartoon things, man, I was not believing when I was seeing it. I really thought that was a meme. I really thought that. I could not believe that they're doing that for real. 3-3 KD. So yeah, that's really nuts, man. How you can call something like, how can you turn something so serious, you know, like you know, military shooter into a whole cartoonish thing, you know. It doesn't even make sense, you know, that if you look even to it, you know, then you're in, you know, in a war kind of situation, and you know, and then you have just some cartoons and some foolish stuff going on, you know. I mean, what were they thinking, you know? It was just a quick buck to make some a quick thing to make some money or something, but I think they have really destroyed their their reputation with that. I really do.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
Holy moly. Somewhere over there. Where did he shot me from? 3-4 KD. Yeah, that's really, man, it makes me really confusing, man. I mean, they went already really far a couple of years ago with the skins, you know, but now they went really into something that's just unbelievable, you know. Oh, I could still heal you at least, dude. Oh, he died also. I was already seeing that years ago, you know, even in Warzone and stuff, you know. I saw that was all sorts of purple-colored rifles and man, it was already for years looking to Call of Duty and going like, man, I'm not gonna play this, no way, you know.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up. Pick up your med kit. There's your med kit. Pick it up.
Yeah, I was not believing it, he was from over there.
Pick up this medical kit.
What were they thinking, really? Could not believe it. When I saw that off the... that was interesting. Rupovic. Yeah, I was really not believing that. My God, it was just on the wrong button over here. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, really. I don't know if you ever have you already seen that, but it's absolutely ridiculous, you know, that the cartoon skins, it's really ridiculous. It was already ridiculous years ago with the skins, but now they went really to something else, complete cartoon dolls into COD, you know, really crazy, man. They already screwed the, how do you call that, they already lost it a little bit with Vilgard was already like also a complete mess, that there was all also with women empowerment in it and stuff, and it was really weird stuff already, you know. In Vilgard, I think from that moment Call of Duty started really losing it, you know. Ah man, he walked over there, son of a gun, completely distracted with talking. So yeah.
Got you fixed up. Hop two. Come get it. Enemy soldier in the AO.
And he didn't die, or he died? Killed in action. I died and he didn't. Oh, that's interesting. He's still alive, man. Eh? That doesn't make also any sense, that. Where is he? Son of a bitch. I know what this admin is bothering himself about.
Go get it.
Still breaking a little bit. Oh, these guys need
Here's your
to...
med. Here's your first aid.
Objective Bravo.
Here's your med. Pick it up. There's your med kit. Pick it up.
Objective Bravo.
Nice shot, nice shot. He was over there. Yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking, but it's ridiculous that. I cannot save you, son.
There's your med kit. Pick it up. Here's your med. Go get it. Here's your med. Pick it up.
Walking over there. It's concentrating a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, but Call of Duty is completely lost, you know. In the time of Vanguard, I think. Vanguard, yeah. Call of Duty Vanguard, you know. Was already getting really, really bad. But then they were already almost being purchased by Microsoft, you know. And I have the feeling that Microsoft, you know, is going for a very woke, wanting to... Oh, sorry, dude. Wanting to get rid of all sorts of evil things. I think that a good example of that is actually Doom the Dark Ages. That game is just completely sanitized, you know, for the modern audience. You know, I think that they...
There's your med kit. Pick it up. I got your med kit.
Oh my dear lord. Yeah, they sort of, you know, I see that now also with Doom the Dark Ages, that Microsoft is really trying to, for the modern audiences, get rid of all the greedy stuff, the evil stuff, let me say it like that, you know, that these games had, like Call of Duty, and they're trying to turn everything into some sort of modern audience woke slop kind of a nonsense, you know.
Here's your meds. Pick it up.
And Call of Duty now also being owned by Microsoft, you know.
There's your med kit.
Still survived it, son of a gun. 311, I died already many times, you know. They are just trying to, you know, and you see that all over the world. There's now also all that sort of, how do you call that, crazy censorship going on. Everything that, you know, is for adults cannot be anymore. Everything needs to be sanitized. We cannot have any violent video games anymore. You know, and then corporations like Microsoft and stuff, you know, they are really into that, you know. Need to really start to paying attention a little bit, you know. Oh my god, I want to shoot it there in the alley. Yeah, that's a little bit what I think is happening, you know. And while the wokeness sort of is gone, they say that now that Donald Trump went that became president, that they're not into wokeness anymore. But let me tell you, you know, Microsoft, Xbox now owns Activision. They own, so that's Call of Duty, and then they own Bethesda, you know, the guys of id Software, you know. And I'm just seeing that these companies are going completely for the woke, sanitized, modern audience. Let's get rid of all the gritty stuff and all the, you know, the evil stuff. What's according to them evil and violence, and they want to turn everything now into one big rainbow. You know. Into one big rainbow flag, you know. And I think it's very obvious if you play the music and play the preview videos of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and then look to Black Ops 6, and go and look at Doom Eternal, and then look at Doom the Dark Ages. They have completely taken the glory kills away. They've taken the gore away. It's all just oh, sorry, dude.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
Yeah. These guys are going really for to please the modern audiences, you know. Oh.
Here's your med kit. Go get it. I got your med kit.
One of mine. And now with all the censorship going on and anything sexual themed is the payment companies don't want to take care of anymore. The UK now with the huge censorship that everything, anything you say can hurt other people's feelings and stuff like that. They can arrest you and stuff. And we are, you know, VPN, virtual private networks. They are already forbidding in the UK.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up. Here's your med.
So yeah, I remember Ursula von der Leyen from you know the unelected one from the European Commission was saying in the beginning of this year that 2025 would be the year of, literally her words, AI, mass censorship, and what was it? There was something else. It was AI, mass censorship, and mass surveillance. She literally said that. And she was right, because now we're a little bit coming in the end of the year, and now the whole thing is just going mental, you know.
Med kit. Pick it up.
So yeah, they're getting really ready. And it's all for the children and stuff, you know, but it's not, of course. It's just to mass surveil on the population, you know. That is the general idea of it, you know.
There's your med kit. Go get it. There's your med kit. Pick it up.
Right, let's go. Go and get E. So yeah. And these big corporations, they always like to pander and to, you know, to please to the masses, you know. So.
I got your med kit.
Take that, dude. You were without any health, you know.
I got your med kit.
So yeah. Your online experiences in the next half a year will be really different. And yeah, also that you just see in video games, you know, it's now all about, you know, the modern audiences, and let's sanitize everything and make everything so we don't offend anybody, nobody's feelings are hurt, and you know, and that's just now what it's all about. No, sorry, dude. 613.
There you go. You're all patched up, soldier.
you watch a preview of Doom Eternal and then you watch Doom The Dark Ages, you're not gonna believe it. And even this last Call of Duty also, man. What the hell is that all about, you know? It's a war game, you know? Was that a tank? Oh my god. It's by the way really, really hot now in Portugal. Really, really, really hot. It's again in the night over here. I'm located in a room that's on the north, and strangely, in the end of the day is when a couple of hours the sun hits my room over here, and it's now really, really hot in this moment.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
I spotted a hostile machine gunner due east of your location.
I always get very, very distracted when I'm playing and
Be advised.
speaking. Oh, oh. Go, 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 go. $614. Bad KD.
Here's your.
You know, and then they wonder, you know, why everybody is complaining, you know. I'm just an old guy already, you know. I'm basically a boomer, you know. But I'm still from the time of play video games since 2001, you know. And man, what I've seen lately they are doing with this industry. But then again, also this industry is now run by a bunch of activists, you know, that don't even like video games. They hate video games and video and gamers actually in general. You know, these people are just. You know, they're over there just have installed themselves basically to insert their propaganda into, you know, that's the problem, you know, the whole woke crowd, you know. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, you know, but that goes, by the way, for video games, and it goes also for normal media, television, and then let me see if I say this correct, you know. Even in the Linux world, you know, don't take it wrong, folks, but there's maybe 2 or 3 Linux distributions, more known ones, that is not a bunch of woke people, because the rest of them are all just completely woke as crap, you know, and they're all just, you know, activists, basically, you know, that now are, that goes also for open source and closed source proprietary software projects, you know. It is all these people that are working there now, you know, it's all a bunch of activists, basically. It's all a bunch of radical left activists. That's basically it.
敌枪来了，去打好。
Now you had the Sydney Sweeney thing also, with the thing of the jeans, where now all the wokies are angry about her story with the jeans commercial. And it's Nazi propaganda and all sorts of stuff like that. These people are completely, you know, first of all, they're race obsessed. Second of all, they talk all the time about Nazis, you know. Well, they have no idea, you know. These modern entitled people, you know, they talk about Nazis, you know. They have no idea what they're talking about, you know. They really don't. It's actually like quite, how can I say that, really offensive and really crazy how... these entitled modern people, you know, have the nerve of talking about Nazis and have no idea, you know, of what that really was about, you know. Interesting. Yeah, they call everything Nazi, you know. Apparently they were never in the Anne Frank house, you know. As if they were ever one time in the Anne Frank house, where they show you real images and real recordings from the Second World War and pictures and all sorts of things. And I am from Holland, from Rotterdam, a city that was heavily bombed. I am a quarter Jewish. My grandparents have told me stories, and I've even from many other Dutch people who passed through the war, even ones that were not Jewish. I've listened to stories, and these entitled modern people that live in this safe environment, you know, that they have the nerve of calling the things that they call today Nazi is absolutely dreadful. You know, they have no idea what they're saying. You know, they really don't. It's really, these people should be ashamed of themselves, to be very honest. That they have even the nerve of calling the things they call today that has anything to do with Nazism. And by the way, the word Nazi stands for. Many people don't know that, you know, but the Nazis, you know, people talk about far right and about fascism and stuff. And yeah, they were a form of fascism, but the word Nazi stands for a national socialism. And I think if you know that, then you all of a sudden understand what this whole move, because actually the wokies, the radical leftists, they all push for socialism. And they all push for international socialism. And the funny thing is that if you start thinking about it, you know, the Nazis were national socialists. And many radical leftists, they are also pushing for socialism and actually for communism. So it's really interesting. The people all the time scream Nazis are actually the ones who are promoting socialism, you know. And the Nazis were national socialists. That's where the word Nazi comes from. National socialism, Nazism. But, you know, so those people, the radical leftists who are all promoting this kind of thing, and they're promoting socialism, and actually, they can promote actually communism disguised as socialism, you know. They are actually the ones who are promoting national socialism, and some of them with the mass illegal migration. Attention, illegal migration. That's what they are calling even for international socialism. By the way, I'm myself a migrant also. I am not against migration. I'm against illegal migration. So there you go. These people have no idea what they're talking about. I cannot break that. Can I break this? Oh yes, I can. That's nice.
Objective Charlie has just been neutralized.
So yeah. And they are a bunch of the most intolerant people I've ever seen. All these liberal radical lefties. Because they promote all sorts of things, and I'll talk about inclusivity and this and that. But any person who goes against them, and they're for freedom of speech, but they are people who are actually really completely against freedom of speech. Because anybody who goes against their narrative is completely being cancelled. Because we live also in an era of cancel culture, you know. That's the problem also, you know. And actually, these radical lefties are really cancel culture people. So. Or was that a shotgun? Oh, even a normal gun. So, yeah. It's so funny that, you know, people are themselves socialists and are pushing for socialism and communism, are calling everybody else Nazis. Well, the Nazis were national socialists. It's really crazy. And the people are so much for inclusivity, are one of the most intolerant people who completely cancel anybody out who doesn't go with their ideology. It's really impressive. By the way, with everything I say over here, I can even get in trouble with my YouTube account. But yeah, I couldn't care less actually, to be very honest. If and probably in some time, you know, I need to be very careful with what I say, you know, because... you know, I'm in Portugal still, but in the UK, for the things I just said, I could probably already land into jail, you know. I'm dreadful here on this map. I'm more thinking about explaining my point really good over here, you know. Yeah, the woke mind virus. And people that are really radical. Radical leftists. Interesting people. It's a very dangerous ideology we are living in.
嘿，你衣箱。
And they are, by the way, very racist people because they don't like anybody who is not LGBTQ or is not black or a minority. But if you are not straight, you know. How did that guy survive that, man? And if you're not completely aligned with them, so for example, I am a libertarian, but me they call just a far-right extremist, you know, because I don't agree with their ideology. A libertarian is actually a person who's actually very centered, you know. But to them you are immediately far-right. If you not agree with their radical left ideology, you are immediately... I cannot save you, dude. Sorry, I don't have any shock pedals. Then you are immediately a far-right Nazi ism. Nazism, fascism, you know. And they call everything fascism. They don't even know what fascism means, you know. Fascism is actually, you know, being used in a very, very wrong way, you know. Fascism is actually just when the government has more in one way or the other, controls its population, but is basically has the first interest if it concerns monetary gains for a country, you know, into corporations, but then still maintains his population, you know. People today use all sorts of slogans for things they don't even understand, to be very honest. Mussolini, people that call Mussolini, you know, who was Mussolini? Mussolini, everybody calls him a fascist, and he was basically a Nazi also, and this and that. But you know what Mussolini ran? He ran the biggest newspaper and political party in that time. Let me just crack all the windows for fun. In Italy, correct me if I'm wrong in that, but Mussolini was owner of the biggest socialist newspaper and political party in Italy, Mussolini. Yeah, so he was a socialist. Interesting, huh? Yeah, I gotta really start concentrating a little bit. I'm just talking too much. There's he again. 4-9. And by the way, a libertarian is just somebody who believes that you should have government control, but as less as possible. That is basically what a libertarian is. A libertarian believes in that it's necessary that the government has control over its population, but as least as possible. That's a libertarian. But today people call all sorts of things and they don't even understand what the fuck it means, to be very honest. Yeah, and all these radical lefties, they call for what? Universal basic income and You know, all sorts of things like that, mass censorship, you know, defund the police, which is completely crazy, you know. Defund the police, you know, these people are fucking nuts, you know. They don't know, they don't understand, man. They call all for that, you know. They're fucking nuts, these people. They really are nuts. Defund the police. I don't know if anybody remembered what happened before we had police, you know. I don't know if people remember the Wild Wild West. Well, the Wild Wild West, it got controlled and civilized. When was that, you know? It was when in the United States, after the wars over there, it was just lawless land over there. And basically you had villages and little cities where you had just every night you had 12 or 20 people being shot to death because there was no sheriff, you know. And then there came a sheriff, and then you know, slowly over time, you know, these villages became let's call it civilized, you know. But before that, you know, it was completely lawless, you know. People got killed, raped. If somebody in the bar got angry with somebody, they just walked outside and they shot them, you know, and they robbed them, you know. And these people that are calling for defund the police, you must be really, you really don't know what you're saying, you know. And these are really rich, entitled people that live in a safe zone. They live in this modern world, you know. And in the moment something goes wrong with them, they expect the police even to be there. Well, they want to defund the police. It's ridiculous, you know. Ridiculous. Same with all these people that you see, you know, that are pro migration are all, most of them, you know, pro illegal migration. Sorry, I say that wrong. Pro illegal migration is all people, holy moly, that live in very wealthy areas, you know, and they don't live in suburbs and in big cities where, you know, and in areas where they are literally directly affected by it, you know, and they all scream, oh yes, man, give everything. You know, it's just so strange, you know, to give everything to people that are not from your country, you know. It's like really weird, you know. People pay taxes, you know, and you have your veterans laying in the street, you know. You know, and homeless people, and your own country has lots of problems, you know, and these people are not being helped, but your taxpayer money goes to everybody that's just not even from the same continent. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. That. Totally crazy. Totally crazy. People are nuts. And it's, by the way, most of them is just virtue signaling, you know. Because most of them, as long as it's far away from them, they don't mind if somebody else deals with the problem, you know. It's crazy. Very crazy. Interesting. That guy was interesting. Took a lot of bullets. Oh my god. Yeah. 6 kills, 17 deaths. Really bad. I was more thinking than actually playing. Yeah, so I think that you know, let's face it, really, the way Europe is going, you know, Europe is already lost, you know. And people, you know, they talk about a problem of mass migration, you know. You will see the mass migration that we are having here in Europe. In Portugal, we have mass migration. It's of course people from African countries and from Middle Eastern countries, but all unvetted. Most of them from third world situations and countries that have a completely other ideology and religion, you know. But we here in Portugal, we have also another kind of mass migration. And you know what that is? That's a mass migration from people who come from Northern European countries, rich countries, you know, and Scandinavian countries. And you know what they are escaping? The mass migration in the north of Europe. They come to Portugal now. Are you seeing the craziness of that or not? And they're also, by the way, buying everything over here in Portugal, you know. So they come all from countries, they have way more money than the Portuguese. They buy everything here, they rent everything over here. And oh my god, nice one. And that's what we are having now here in the area where I live in Portugal. I have lots and lots and lots of people from England, from Holland, from Germany, you know, from Scandinavian countries. And if I speak to them, you know, and I tell them really, what's your reason really that you come living here permanently, you know? And you have some that come over for the surf or something, you know, but most of them tell me the same story, that it's starting to be unlivable in their own country. But nobody talks about that. And attention, in their own country, they earn way more, because Portugal is very recently was still almost considered a third world country, you know. Not so many years ago, Portugal was still a, in economic power and in many things was still considered in the world ranking still as a third world country, you know. Also because Portugal got only in 73 or 74, they had still here a dictatorship also, you know. So Portugal was living under a dictatorship, and Portugal took a long time to basically, how do you call that, recover from that. So, you know. It's like weird now, that a lot of people, you know, wealthy people and poor people, but many wealthy people that come from their way wealthier countries with way more infrastructure and way more facilities and better working conditions, all sorts of things, they come to Portugal. And for what do they come to Portugal? They all tell me the same, that their country is becoming unlivable because of mass migration. But nobody talks about that, you know. Because of course, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't talk about that, no? Huh? Because then people start asking questions, you know? Yeah, I can save you, son. Oh my god, he jumped off and I jumped on. So yeah. I'm living in a very small village in Portugal where I live already for almost 25 years. And in the last 4 or 5 months, my village got completely, all of a sudden, full of people from African countries. Completely full all of a sudden over here. I mean, I live really in a small village. This village has about 2,200 inhabitants, people living here. And we have in the last 5 months, all of a sudden, the whole village here full of people from African countries. And most of them is third world countries and also Islamist countries. So there you go. So here they opened the floodgates, really. Interesting, huh? We had years ago also, of course, because Portugal has lots of connections also with the old colonies from Africa. That is with Cabo Verde also, and with Namibia and Rwanda and all those countries. So It's also normal that you always had here a lot of people from Angola. You know, you had a lot of people always here anyway, you know, and of course from Brazil also, because you speak the same language. But now all of a sudden, the last 4 or 5 months, it got here full of them. And it's people that in this village there is no work besides a couple of restaurants over here, and that's it, you know. And these people are all day over here. They apparently have money. They're all, or they're men that are alone, or they're women that are always alone and that have already 3 or 4 kids. Very interesting. They don't work. They have cell phones that cost $1,600. They're all day on the cell phone. They don't speak the language. No work over here. The houses here we live in, this is a very touristical area. Houses and rents are really expensive over here. And they come over here, they have no work, and they just come in. God knows how that all is possible, but apparently it is. One of our politicians said that about half a year ago. He said on national television, as long as you don't commit a crime, you can come to Portugal, basically. That's what he said, which is the dumbest thing you could ever say, you know. Portugal has a lot of poverty, you know. A lot of people here, that Portuguese people that don't have any quality of life, you know. But no, those people can stay in the misery, and let's just bring people, boatloads of them in. Give them everything, they got everything. And what I'm just saying now, in the UK you already can go to jail for this, you know, if you are doubting. It's a bit like the vaccine. If you're doubting the vaccine or you're doubting the coronavirus, then, you know, and now it's if you doubt or you're, you know, questioning this opening the borders and, you know, massive illegal migration, attention, illegal migration, you know. Then you are a bad person if you say that, you know.
Objective Charlie has just been neutralized.
And Europe is basically already lost, you know. Come on, dude, you don't want life, you just running away. Excuse me. And what they want is, it's really, really weird. They want cheap labor, basically. Really weird. That one just walked through a wall. Oh no, there's a door here.
Here's your med. Here's your meds. Pick it up.
Yeah, interesting. And by the way, I wanted to say that also. Yeah, just between us, you know. The problem is not even mass illegal migration. The problem is that governments are literally, it's not a question of mass migration. It's a question of they are mass importing these people. They are literally bringing them over. But many people don't understand, you know. It's not just the fact that many people just think, they just come themselves with boats and stuff like that. And no. It's really, really, really different.
Pick it up.
They are literally bringing them in. And that's also was also happening in the United States, that, you know. That many people don't know that, you know. It wasn't just mass migration, no. The Biden administration was literally bringing them in with boats from South America and from Africa and shit. But they don't want you to know that, you know. In the UK also. You want to know the truth, you know. In the UK, you know, there were human traffickers, they were being paid. The government was paying them to bring them in.
There's your med kit. Pick it up.
There's many things I don't like about Donald Trump, but one thing is really true, you know. When he was over there, just when he got elected, that he said one thing, and it's really true, you know. You know who the biggest human traffickers are in the world? And then he pointed with his finger to the Democratic Party over there. To the liberal wokies. The progressives. And it's really true. There are lots of things I really don't like about that man, but that is actually a fact.
Here's your med.
That's not a lie.
Here's your med kit. There's your med kit. Go get it. There's your med kit. Pick it up. Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
Just lost objective Bravo.
Here's your med kit.
And I come from a country, I come from Holland, where this was already happening 40 years ago. And I have seen it all happening, and it started all like it started here also. It started in Holland also like that. But that was already 40 years ago. I've seen it all. We had in that time already lots of Moroccans and Turkish living there when I was young. And then it was African people coming in. And then it was people from other countries in the Middle East coming in. And before you know it, you had whole ghettos and areas where you were literally completely being taken over, you know. And I'm seeing now here in Portugal happening exactly the same.
We control objective Bravo.
Oh, that one is mine. Fuck's sake. I don't know what these people are thinking, you know. That you can just bring people from countries that have culturally completely nothing to do, you know, with Europe, you know, from sub-Saharan countries, you know, and from Middle Eastern countries, you know, Islamic countries and stuff like that, you know, and even from countries that don't even have that kind of religion, you know. They just come from completely different culture, from completely different rules, you know, and you know, you throw them then into a Western modern society, you know. capitalistic society, and you think that is gonna work out, you know, and it's not. Diversity is our strength is absolutely BS. That I can show you countless situations where they introduced huge diversity. Holy moly. Cities, neighborhoods, ghettos, where in the moment the huge diversity came in, it turned into a shithole. And that's just a fact. And who doesn't want to believe that can believe in fairy tales and in flying dragons. There's nothing wrong with controlled, vetted immigration, but just to open the floodgates and the borders, and that is just not gonna work. That if you don't vet, you don't let. The most important thing is you need to let people get integrated. But what they do is they have this socialist kind of ideology that they give them just a debit card and some money and. They don't let them learn the language. They don't learn them a profession. They don't learn them the culture. They just throw them in a neighborhood, give them some money, free welfare and medical things and stuff, and that's it. Don't incentivize them even to work because they just get free money, you know. Universal basic income, you know, and they just think that that is just gonna bloody work, and it's not, you know. Whoever thinks that is a moron, you know. These people are never gonna integrate like that. They don't even make an effort for that, to be very honest. And I mean, the governments that let them in, that also, you know, they I don't know what they exactly want, you know, just cheap labor or something. And, you know, for cheap labor, you many times don't even need to speak really the language, you know. Can get by with half-broken English or some not even, you know. But there's many cheap labor that you don't even need to speak really the language to understand the culture, you know. And this is why they don't integrate also. Yeah, just give everybody, you know, free welfare, universal basic income, and everything is gonna be fine.
Objective Charlie is ours. We now control Objective Charlie. Here's your med. Get up. Here's your med. Objective Charlie now deployed. Here's your med. There's your med. Get up. We have control of Objective Charlie. Here's your med kit. Go get it. Here's your med. Go get it.
It's just also for people to know, you know. Do you think that The Middle Eastern countries have their borders open. Well, forget about that. They don't have their borders open at all. On the contrary, they have their borders really, really closed. And there are several countries that don't even accept people from certain Middle Eastern countries. I'm not going to say which countries exactly, but and some of them even you need to have a lot of money to get in there. Some going up to $10,000 to have a temporary possibility of staying in there, if they let you in. So, and here we just have the borders open. Yeah. And this was a story that happened. That's happening for many, many years. I'll explain how that exactly went. For you to see having your borders open and free medical care and health care for everyone. And you know what started happening in Portugal? You had people coming from all sorts of countries from all over the world, including Brazil, Africa, Middle East. And they came just to Portugal to get the really expensive surgeries and medical treatments. And there was a case even from a couple that had twins, and they got a treatment that costed 2 million euros, that treatment. And they literally just traveled to Portugal to get that treatment, and then they got the next day a plane and they went out of Portugal and they never came back again. You see that that's a problem? And it was a big scandal that, you know, that people are here months and months waiting, Portuguese people, to get the medical treatment, you know. And then they discovered that just people, there weren't even migrants that were permanently staying here, no. There were just people that just traveled to Portugal to get, and some was really expensive treatments, and they got the treatment over here they traveled over here just for the treatment, and they fucked off straight afterwards. And it was such a scandal that it came even in the parliament in Portugal. Because of course, you know, there's something not right about that, you know. And it's really strange, you know, because in Portugal they always say there's no money and they close all the health centers, the smaller ones, and many hospitals got closed in the last couple of years. People waiting months and months for treatment. And if you go to any hospital in Portugal, is what you see in the hospital is basically only migrants. And we had, some time ago, we had a huge demonstration against migration. And you know who appeared over there? There were people from the food banks. And there were people that were feeding the Portuguese people that are in poverty. And it's all volunteer and donations and stuff, you know. And then the government is just giving away everything to people that are not even from Portugal, not even from the same continent. You know, and that's why those people started also demonstrating, you know. And it's people that are very much into solidarity and to helping other people out. But they started seeing that, hey man, something is wrong here, you know. So we are here just volunteering and, you know, helping out poor Portuguese people, you know. And the government doesn't help us, but the migrants get everything, man. Especially the ones that are not even integrated. Very interesting. I'm not talking about legal migration and people who go through the legal ways and go through the whole process. No, I'm talking about people that just come falling in here and boomba, there you go. And America had the same problem, you know. America's having the same problem.